Okay, this is kind of an impromptu thing, trying to show all of the things that I've been. Uh, sorry, I'm also seeing. Uh, this is. Oh, come on. This is my life, right? And this is ultimately why I'm trying to build this smart tech AI thing. And so I thought, let's show this process of where I get stuck because people have no concept of this because this is between two individuals where these kinds of things happen. So I got an alert that Granite has offered me a work and Caitlin Hogan. So I've done work for her, so she knows me. And she has put this little tag that says worker confirmed. So the reason she does that is because she knows me and she knows that I'm going to prepare because I have no idea. So let's just go through the scope. First of all, she's offering $50 an hour to do this work. In the past, I used to bid $250 for travel because of all of the time that it takes to prepare for something that I have no idea about. So I thought, well, this is a great example because I'm getting all worked up trying to figure out how to respond to this. And so I thought I would just make a video about this kind of a thing because ultimately what I'm trying to do is have AI do this work for me. And so I thought, wow, praise God, this is perfect time for me to show what I wrestle with. Because people have no concept of this stuff. Okay, so I'm really glad, praise God, this is here. And right now I can't even get work market to open up long enough to see this. Okay, so I'm also trying to think through how to do this, how to document the steps, because ultimately I want this to be done with AI to do all of this evaluation. So I'm also trying to just figure out a way to record my thoughts because ultimately this is going to be there should have been this section for my work. Focus on one minute vision cast. Okay. Okay. Right. So this is where I am trying to articulate all that. During this time, Copilot ended up calling something price tracker and oh no, I can't remember what he called it. See, this is the issue. Now I'm under the gun because of this situation. Ultimately, I had this all as stuff under here. Either focus on what matters, smart tech, Copilot, right? So yeah, profit Copilot. Name these profit sense engine, revenue calc. I'm just trying to, because ultimately I have to give values to what's driving that engine, the profit sense, because, and this is and I just don't even know that this is going to be marketable. I just know intuitively I'm willing to take their 50 for an hour and just deal with that. But then I ask for, I used to, I don't remember the exact hours. I should go back and document everything over it. But typically, in this kind of a scenario, I would ask for $250, just my base, because I have to stop everything I'm doing right now. Like, for example, what I'm considering with smart tech and all this stuff that I'm trying to build, this is taking me away from that. I so let me come back. I'm happy to do work because, especially if somebody is saying, "Yeah, we want you individually, worker confirmed." In my mind, that means something. But I also understand that there's a budget, a real hard budget that I'm bumping up against. I have no idea what that budget is, right? So I don't worry about that because I ultimately just step back and think, okay, I'm in business to survive, and I'm not trying to become wealthy, but I just have to account for my expenses. And right now, I've already spent 30 minutes just worrying about this job, and I haven't even bid for it. If I accept their budget and I didn't do anything else, I'd make $190. And between you and me, I kind of set a rule over the years ago that my goal is $200 a day. And I just kind of set that as a loose term so that I could quickly evaluate whether or not something is worth my time. Because ultimately, that's where I keep coming back. My time is worth so much more than $50 an hour. But I have nothing else to do because I'm not asking for loans and things like that because I haven't got my business plan dialed out because I'm worrying about this. And I wish I could show, I need to go back another time, just copy, but all that takes time to copy all that because Work Market doesn't give me. That's the one thing they hide is all the trip charges. The one thing that proves your worth, you have to go in manually and copy and paste every job. And so I can go back and do that, and I should, so that I can prove this. But I just know intuitively, I know what I'm worth, and I don't even know. This video is to show the concept of the profit sense, not to argue with what I think, because ultimately, this is what's so hard. I have a relationship with this company, right? This has been something that I don't know how many, because I don't have the actual data, because Work Market doesn't give me a history of the work. I have to either keep that all and put this. I need to keep this in the requirements of Smart Tech. Come on, right? That's the other thing is saying I just know that the concept of the history, work history, is something is kind of implied, but I need to document it, especially if I'm doing this with AI. Oh boy, right? The client's history of pay, because I should work market should give me that history. They should be able to show me here's all the work you've done in the past, and okay, these are the ideas. Yeah, and those ideas have driven the whole of this other thing. I'm wrestling right now on so many things again because I'm often so many directs. I'm under the gun because of their need, but I just kind of gotten to the point. It's like, why even try? Because every single job that I bid, I'm too expensive. But then she's saying, "You're, hey, apply." Right? So, and I can't call her because, well, I can do it. But see, that's the other thing is, oh God, so much, so much, so many things going through my brain. And I'm just recording this because nobody sees this, nobody understands it, nobody gets it. They just think I'm sitting on my ass or playing games or something. I don't do that because I want to play games. I really do. But as soon as I start a game, then it's like I lose myself in that and I can't think. And I am thinking right now. So, okay, I just got to focus on this real quick. I'm wrestling through so many things. Number one is that I have to go back in and update because I understood the whole concept of the CRM and being able to see pricing history and all that. I just know that intuitively. I never wrote it down. I just assumed that it would be part of this platform. But so I'm now just thinking through, okay, the ramifications of not having it done here, because that ultimately I have to just get an MVP. So that this, let me just get, and I was trying to keep the ideas section as just concepts. I'm trying to incorporate because these are the things that go on behind the scenes in running a business. What am I getting into? Oh, it doesn't matter. Can I just focus on this? I need to see with the history of stuff because ultimately I have no idea what the last job I did with Granted is. Work market cares nothing about me or the text behind the scenes is absolutely zero services on us because we're not paying for it. And that's why I'm thinking, okay, maybe this whole smart tech is providing all these services that I would pay for because right now I am again just wasting my time trying to evaluate even if it's worth it. I know that people are yelling at the screen saying, Kevin, Granted is offering you work. Just accept it. I get that. And that's where I'm like, oh man. But the thing that it comes back to is yes, I can work all day long. When people abuse me, of course I can work for them. There's no shortage in work for people who want competency. I'm just trying to think through what is fair. And I know that concept is completely missed in this environment because they are just wanting somebody to show up. And so let's look at the scope of work because this is the other thing that becomes something. I asked Copilot to evaluate that scope. Because the other thing is that everybody's telling me I can't charge a trip charge because the trip charge was the pure way that I could add value to myself. It was the only way that I could say I am worth this many dollars. And I used to get hundreds of dollars on that's why I've been in business. So, since 2017. I need to just prove that someday. But today I have this imaginary thing. What's going on? See, God, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to take this? So I asked Copilot. He was asking me. I was actually using my notes for a dispute, and I was asking him to give me his take on things, and it was actually helpful. So again, AI to help. I need to just stop this for a second and write this down. I need to add. I need to start with the word pure vision. That way I know which one is the one that's driving everything else. Because ultimately, right? No, see, that's not it. This is me prompting. See, this is where it becomes dangerous. Going down this threads of possibilities. I think I had I'm stuck on this now, trying to get the process right for this. I need to keep one thing that is my pure thing that's driving everything else. So that when I think of all these other additional things, but the other thing is I'm not even getting people in the market. I'm just sharing my thing. Because ultimately, right now, I'm trying to think through. Because as a business person, what I'm wrestling with right now is the fact that I'm not getting money right now because I am choosing to price myself out of the market. That's ultimately why I keep losing bids because there's so many people that are out there that are willing to bid zero. And then I think the last granite job that I won was like 6 months ago, 8 months ago. what's going to suck is while I'm wrestling with this, somebody else is going to take it because it's due tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. To be on site, ready to work at 8 o'clock in the morning takes, I know it seems pretty obvious, but I have to go to bed early because I'm going to have to get up at 3 o'clock. I already wake up at 3, but I'm going to use that time to prepare for that job. And so I'm going to end up at least taking 3 hours to print this, prep whatever they need. And the other thing is that the whole, right? So this is more time. I'm supposed to be responsible for what it is that's in that scope of work. And so I have to understand it. I have to understand exactly what it's saying. And typically I understand the extension survey, turn up and possible cutover. So the reason she's asking me is because of my experience. I'm not the best guy with the wire running, but I just don't know. And they just want me to there to just do the survey and turn up a possible cutover. So what they ask for is all this stuff. Pricing is just me asking Copilot to come back with prices based on the general market that I don't see. Online labor for 120 an hour. I would go ahead and absorb the trip charge for 120 an hour because then the prep is getting ready to go and go there. But then again, you have to, the most, what's the word? The most amount of time. I spend more time. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to get to. On these kinds of things, I spend more time preparing for something than I actually do the work. That's what gets me so angry is because that's not valued and that's not understood. But that's where in my world, that's where the money is in, in contracting the guy that understands, he'll come prepared. And that's why I think they said worker confirmed, we want you. But then I have to build that at a price that motivates me. 119 or nine, right? Again, I got to be really careful because I don't want to sound like I'm a prima donna. What I'm wrestling with. Trying to be fair and I also understand completely. That's where I keep running. This is where the whole concept is falling apart because I am a, I am up against DMARC. Oh, fixed pricing. So let's come back for a second. Let's just read the doc. Pricing. So I had, for the first time, right? I had somebody to ask this to. I just knew intuitively that because I know all of the time the hours that it's going to take for me to prepare to get there. And that's why I just get so upset and angry around the concept of me doing work for free because nobody gets that except me. I am the one who is feeling robbed or wasting my life, right? Because I know how much time it takes to prepare for that work. And so I think that that's why she's offering me the job. I have to understand what it is that they're asking. They took hours, I'm sure, to come up with those exact words for a reason. They're a contract. And so I have to not, I have to spend my time understanding it and then asking questions. Extension survey. Please provide detailed descriptions of photos of where the circuit is and related to the pack. So, okay, really simple stuff, right? If the circuit is not in close proximity to the phone, please complete how to survey. Please note the 50 millimeter patch. 50 millimeter. 50 meter. Ha! 50 meter. Oh, so now I'm reading it, right? But I'm not. Right now, I just had AI read all this and he got response back in seconds. And then suggested this is really a great example of where I need to go because I don't know even if people understand. So this is again perfect example. Let me come back. Let's try this concept because I don't know. AI should do all this work of analysis, but the same thing is that, right? Ultimately, I was trying to think about this whole concept of bidding work and finding the work, and now getting back to this whole thing. This vision casting was me just trying to document this, and then I ended up going through and pasting Copilot's response because right the concept of dispatcher agent because that ultimately this is the way things are going to go. This whole world's going to change because of a smart dispatcher agent. You know, this is all going to be done behind the scenes to people, and I have to get on board on that. I have to be able to provide a vehicle for that to happen. That's really where this comes down to this urgency. Now I'm really Which company? Well, the other problem is I don't even. It's not fair. Oh, which company is out there doing what SmartTech? I didn't even know about Winola Field Service Management. Why SmartTech I stands apart? Yeah, profit sense and value scout. That's what he AI fast AI that vets every bit against high cost margin thresholds before alerting technicians. Union style community shared, oh, interesting rituals. Because I was talking about Christianity, collective training for collective growth. Interesting, right? Yeah, I forgot about that commitment to the long term. Oh boy, faith integration, optional daily. No single company currently matches all three pillars. And this is ultimately forget the faith thing. Well, but that's really the whole thing. Field Nation is my number one. Why AI powered matching of technicians to client jobs focuses on marketplace logistics and automated bidding. What? I don't do automated bidding. Okay, so I'm off on a tangent again. This is where trying to make this video. So I'm trying to explain what happens when I get a job like this. If I accept that job as it is, I just know that I'm not being profitable. I can't. This is what's so hard. There's no concept of how difficult this is. But this is just a survey. But then I'm responsible for that survey. That's why she's asking me. Success on site. Tech will determine the model. Because the other thing is that I just may find wherever I'm looking for it on the other side of the wall, right? And I just plug in my Apache cable. But this is all the time that it takes on my side to understand. I have to prep, but even though it's just a survey. But see, this is where, okay, and this is why I'm recording this because I just want people to understand what I end up going through. It's just a survey. But the survey means ultimately that I am responsible for it, whatever that is. And this is a TJ Maxx, so it's going to be his huge warehouse, and running wire or fiber by yourself in a huge warehouse is just too much. And I can't even. Well, I know. It's pretty. Just focus on what's going to end up happening is because this is what happens every single day. I spend all of this time just evaluating, asking questions. When AI does it in like 60 seconds, right? Because interesting this about workout and house call pro. So it's interesting. See, great for operation management, but no AI powered job pre-qualification or collective community. Appreciate. Wow, let it go. Part of it was just to ignore the concept of community. But I mean, this is where it comes back to this whole thing. I have a huge platform to people to share the gospel and prove, what a Christian business is. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want it to, well, it's not, it's just differentiating it. But see, let's go back to this whole thing. I am now uh, almost 40 minutes just wasted on this one thought. I have to be divide, decisive. This is what is difficult. Trying to come up with a way of valuing myself. And I don't have the co-pilot that has my whole LinkedIn history. And right, this is going to be something that it's, it could just be in the same rack. And I'm wasting all this time. But because they write the scope to be as inclusive on the labor, on us, so that we're responsible for whatever it is the contract says. I understand it's just a survey. Tech will install the granite flexage and plug in the new device. Right? I mean, it's just so simple. Just connecting to, but you have to have the right length of the cable. You have to run through all the stuff, depending on where it is. You have to fish through the network rack. See, this is where I should just be also keeping track. These are the kinds of things that, right? I mean, common. Not common. I had asked it to clarify responsibilities and prereqs. State that the 50-minute cable is supply or the tech will carry a spare. Right? Right? So I, I just know that. But this takes time for me to do it. And it did it all. That's why I'm just making this video. So I'm trying to show you what I'm trying to do. Copilot doesn't necessarily the AI engine behind that, but it could be. I think this is ChatGPT. Standardize the DMARC section. Right. So there's good. So add times SLA, estimated hours, major task. Forget, but well, yeah, that's the other thing. Right? Yeah, the risk mitigation. Just the fact that I'm driving there is a risk, right? I get into a car accident and destroy my life, destroy my business. Right? I'm not trying to make this so dramatic. I'm not trying to be a prima donna. I'm just trying to explain that these things take time. And having AI do it is really helpful because I don't know how other people can do this, but that's why I think then she says send it to me. Right. But then in the past, I would be able to charge a premium for that because it's me. You want me there, but I just, every time I bid, I lose. And so now I'm stuck in this thing about, well, how do I proceed? Right. And now I'm making a video about it, showing this amazingly quandary of where the market has gotten so saturated that they're willing to pay $50 an hour to find somebody to do that work. And like I said, in the past, I would just counterbid what I thought, and I would always get it. But now I can't. For some reason now, all these other people that are bidding zero, and so I can't. The whole reason I'm in business is to be profitable. And I am already gone bankrupt because of the situation that I'm in. And I'm just trying to document this because nobody gets it. Why not just accept that, Kevin, and be happy? Because this whole thing about my calling in my life, that's where I just, yes, I could work for $45 an hour. Not I could. People would give me work because everybody wants somebody like me who is competent, who has all these tools, right? Everybody understands that, but nobody's willing to pay for that. And I don't even understand what that means, too, because I have no idea what their budget is. I just come up with what I think is fair, what I need to survive. And even that people don't get. You can't expect me to ask. I don't know how we got into this. Paid. I would be happy to do that work if I bid to 50 for travel. I know it's just a site survey, but there's so much more. Right? In the past, I used to be able to counter bid. This whole thing, the drug test, ends up being something else that I took, and it hasn't been posted yet. Oh, come on, profile. Takes like 5 days. Oh, wait a sec. That was already done. 25. I thought, because I thought I missed that it had lapsed June. What? Yeah, that was June. I thought maybe that's why they were rejecting. This is what's so hard. I am a complete freak in this world. Freak in a good way. But I don't even know who my competition is. Now I'm wrestling with whether or not to do this job. I guess it's good for the whole evaluation and try to communicate what's going on. Because the other thing is that if I ignore her, then she's gonna not offer those before. I mean, right? Because we have this long-term relationship. It used to be that was valued. I have no idea what the budget is. I have no idea what's too much. I just come up with what. Right? But this is the other thing is Okay. This is, that looks like the market to me. That's the market I know. Ultimately, that $250, which is kind of my base rate to just to move, is to account for that. I mean, if I'm going to be valued on that when I'm out there, I understand it's not the same value to the customer. I right, I get that. But what people have to understand, well, maybe they don't, but when you're building something, you have to account for your expenses. It has to come into your being. I mean, I can't believe I'm doubting myself. The most basic, fundamental thing. That's why I just have to stop. I just have to stop. I have to stop. I have to stop. I did this other job, zero, just to get there. And it ended up being a profitable day, like 8 hours. I need to call them too to get that bit. It was encouraging. She at least came back and said, I'm confirming you because now, well, I'm trying to think through how to train AI to be this dispatch agent. Let's bid. Where is this? I want available, please. Sorry about dragging you on this journey. when I click available, where did I just lose it? $2 ago, and it's already gone. Right. This is my life right here. I don't even see when I don't even bid it. But again, this is a wonderful journey, trying to prove what's behind the scenes. People are so desperate just to accept $50 an hour that it's gone in 2 hours. And again, I'm stuck now, wasting time. This is what happens all the time. All of these jobs that are showing, this was 2 hours ago. There's a whole section here for update. Oh. I guess again, I just wanted to document this because nobody understands. I could just be sitting on my ass all day. I'm not sitting on my ass. I'm wasting my life. If I had an AI agent who bid on my behalf, see, this is where the value comes in. If I'm somebody who doesn't value my time and they're happy for $50, they're the ones who I lost to, right? Because I'm the one who's trying to think through what's fair to me. And I understand that that's completely the wrong way of thinking. I should just be grateful for what they throw down. So, yeah, I completely understand everything I'm saying. How absurd that is. I'm also trying to document because people have no concept of this. So now I'm going to praise God that I have another example here. What's in these alerts where all of these things, if somebody like me was using an AI agent and he had the bids set up, he was able to respond, then I would have gotten the job. We have to invest in that kind of infrastructure in today's world to compete. So I am grateful that this happened because again, I at least I still have my time. I can still I keep coming back to this concept that I like what I do, but I have to be paid for it. I know, just trying to stretch, not trying to be emotional or anything like that. I didn't go out and run today because it's too hot, so I didn't actually stretch this morning. Now I feel it, so I'm gonna leave it with this because ultimately this is again just more urgency around getting this going and trying to get help financially to build this team. But again, this is perfect example of wow, I was glad I was able to record this because again, people have no concept of what it means. And if I had an AI agent doing this for myself and reporting back to me, here's all the things to be careful of, Kev, right? If that's using technology, that's a lifeboat to text. Ultimately, this is going to end up being done completely behind the scenes. And that's the other thing. The reason trying to have this urgency is that techs have to get on these platforms and establish credibility in order for the agents to do their job. Okay, so I gotta let you go. My battery's dying on my phone, and I have more to deal with. Trying to get out of here gracefully. Thanks for listening. Over and out.